Boom, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Swaggy Vet Podcast. I'm your host, Big Pen. I got my co-host with me and my best friend, First Swaggy Vet. What's up, my man?
What's going on, Penn, the Swaggy Vets, and all their friends and family? What's going on out there?
We got a special edition today, but first, what am I doing? Sipping on this tumbler that you can go to swaggyvets.com and get. All right. So we got a special guest today, one of our very good friends, been to combat with.
Mr. Has.
And he's got a lot of stuff going on. So we was like, man, you need to come on and tell your story. Combat veteran, retired. Now he said, you know what? Going to combat wasn't scary enough. I'm gonna be a pilot.
I want to
Go ahead
fly
and be a pilot.
planes.
I want to fly planes. Hey, we got coming to the stage our really good friend, retired Loren Andrews.
What's going on, Jules?
What up,
What's
baby? How
going
y'all
on,
doing,
brother?
man?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show, brother.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. It's definitely a blessing. Definitely an honor to see y'all. Y'all doing great things, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, we appreciate it, man. We can't do it without the support of our brothers, man, brothers and sisters.
Yo.
So we definitely appreciate your support, my man.
Oh, thank you. No, thank
Hey.
you, man. Like I said,
Before we talk, man, you was on call. What happened?
oh man, yeah. So I was on standby, man. So it's my duty week. So
Okay.
we're eight on and 4 off right now, and it's my duty week, and we didn't have a flight going on, and kind of jinxed myself because I looked at my captain. I was like, man, I hope I don't see you tomorrow. And get to the house, and they put a flight on us, man. Had to go up to Milwaukee real quick.
He said, "Nah, player, I need you to come on in."
Yep. Hey, man, but I love doing what I do, man. So it was a fun day for me, man.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, tell us why you enlisted all the way back in 2003, my man.
Oh, let me think. So Twin Towers just happened, man.
Yep.
And I was born in Jacksonville, North Carolina, man. To a Marine. Grew up a devil dog, man. I just didn't want to join the Marines, man, because I knew it was going to bring me back home. And like, you know what, man? I got to get out of town, man. I got to get out of town. I'm not very good at schooling right now. I got to figure something out for my life. And the Army, man. Army came calling, man. And I took it, and I left as soon as graduation, man. As soon as graduation. I mean, I think I threw my cap and gown, and I jumped on the bus. just to hurry up and get out of town, man.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, man. So that happened in 03 as soon as I graduated.
Okay. And then you said, you know what? I want to be an 88 Mike, a motor transport operator.
All right. So that recruiting story, thank you, recruiter. Pretty much screwed you. Yeah. So I wasn't supposed to be an 88 Mike, man. I was actually supposed to be working in the world of aviation because I always wanted to be around aviation. I always wanted to be a pilot. And I, not knowing the military and how everything works, thought I was going to be a mechanic around aviation. That's what I was told. Right. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, man, whatever. They're like, oh, just sign the dotted line. The faster you sign the dotted line, the faster you get out of town. I'm not, I'm 18, oblivious to everything. And I signed the dotted line, and I get on the bus and going through MEPS and everything, and I didn't realize what 88 Mike was, and it didn't dawn on me to look it up, And I get to Fort Leonard Wood, man, and they're like, home of the Transportation Corps. I'm like, wait, time out, bro. What am I doing? So yeah, man, there was actually during basic, man, there was a big dispute. I had a big dispute for a while, and it got to the point, man, it was just too much to deal with that I just said, you know what? Whatever. I'm here. I'm gonna go ahead and knock it out, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And that's how I became 88 Mike, man.
Okay. How was your experience at Leonard Wood? You liked it?
Man, I remember throwing my BCGs out the window and giving the bird. No, man, basic was great. I had a great company, Alpha 210. It was a great experience. It was my dad and being an athlete in high school really prepared me athletic wise, condition wise. It was really easy for me compared to others. I was already in A group running, 9-minute mile, 9-minute 2 miles, you know what I'm saying? Like getting it. So I excelled in basic. Weapons range was amazing. Combat was amazing. Hand-to-hand combat was amazing. So I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If I could go back and do it again, I would do it again. I really would.
If anybody's wondering, he said he threw his BCGs. Now, when you go to basic training and you wear glasses, they give you these big old glasses, and we call them birth control glasses. Because why? Because you ain't getting none wearing them glasses.
They were big and brown, bro. Like, nowhere. You ain't getting nowhere.
You can see the future with them things.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
So, Andrew, let me get this correct. You got 88 Mike as an accident?
Yeah, man. It was a MOS that they needed at the time, and they were filling in a lot and just trying to fill in that MOS, and me not knowing anything, not having any guidance through everything. I didn't double check my paperwork. I didn't sign my paper. I didn't not sign it, but at signing, I didn't like look it over. I believe my recruiter, man. He was there for me, take care of me. But yeah, I was supposed to be around aviation, man. I was supposed to be an aviation mechanic. That's what I wanted to do, and because I knew that would put me in the realm of connections and meeting individuals. Being around the helicopters, and that's where I wanted to be, man. That was my whole goal. So, and it didn't work out too well.
All right. So then you went to Fort Leonard Wood. So from Fort Leonard Wood, take me through your duty stations after that.
Yeah, so after Fort Leonard Wood, 3rd ID, man. Went to 3rd ID, served with them with the 703rd MSB, and then got moved up to be a protocol driver, a VIP driver for the General and Sergeant Major, and deployed to Iraq with them. It was all over Iraq, man. Anywhere and everywhere the Sergeant Major, the General wanted to go, we were there. They had me driving gun trucks, driving bulletproof up-armored SUVs. I mean, dignitaries would come in and we were with their detachment or their detail. The MWR would have individuals come in and we would be their drivers pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You'd be tasked with an individual, and you'd be in that up-armored SUV or that up-armored Humvee, and you'd be taking them around pretty much all Iraq or wherever it was deemed safe for them to go, and that was at 3rd ID. That was a real good deployment. And then Fort Bragg, man. After that, 3rd ID, I was re-enlisted, and somebody came up with this whole, hey, they need airborne paratroopers. What's airborne, man? They're gonna jump out of planes. They're like, yeah. So I got that in my re-enlistment contract there, Fort Stewart. Came back from Iraq and went to jump school in 06, man, and loved every minute of that adrenaline rush, man. Being born, man, has a lot of history, a lot of pride, a lot of heritage, and I was glad to be able to accomplish that. And then sent me right to Fort Bragg, man. And Fort Bragg was 6, and I think the first person I met was McKinstry, man. It was Q. You guys actually, Jay and Will, you guys that came back from that detail when I first met y'all. Y'all were in that detail at Annapolis, man. And you guys were like the first ones I actually met,
Oh, yeah, when we were at West Point.
Yeah, West Point, yep.
Yeah, West Point, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then after that, man, that's just been a Bragg. I was a Bragg for almost, 10 years. And then I got duty, and then deployments, with Afghanistan all the time with Bragg. You know how that goes. I did north, south, east, and west of Afghanistan: Bagram, Sharona, Salerno, Ghazni, Bardez, Farah. Did them all. I was out there with you, Jay, out there in Farah, messing with the Taliban. So, yeah, man. And then I got orders. It broke my heart, man. I got orders to go to Fort Leonard Wood again to be an AIT instructor. And that, with the injuries that I had from airborne operations and going to Fort Leonard Wood, I think that's what kind of forced me out. And I didn't see an improvement in my career. There was other things I wanted to do that I had set hard, and my military career pretty much, I said, you know what, man, 14, I'm out. So ended up, medically retiring out and continue on with my civilian career, man.
What was so going from, a lot of people say, especially coming from a leg unit, going to airborne unit, they say it's like a rough transition. What do you think about it? Because I know third ID is pretty high speed though.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. Look, man. Third ID is it's mechanized, man, and they are. Yeah, they are. Third ID was not home for me, if that makes sense.
Okay.
There were so many things there that, put it like this, I was too high speed for third ID. That's just the simplest way to put it. I needed a challenge. I needed something that was going to push me. And being airborne, man, that's all you heard. You're a rough, tough son of a gun. You jump out of planes, you ruck march 12 miles, you go to the range, you shoot it up, and then ruck 12 miles back to the company. And, you wake up the next day and do it all over again. I was like, man, that's where it's at. As crazy as that sounds, man, third ID, you're not doing that. Third ID, I was busting tracks, loading them up on the heads, loading them up on the trailers. And I'm just like, man, this ain't where I want to be. You
didn't feel at home.
So transition for me was simple, man. It really was, And then on top of that, I was born and raised in North Carolina, so I was literally at home.
Oh yeah, that's right. Jacksonville's not too far from Fayetteville.
Yep. Right. So, yeah, man. It was just meant to be.
What were some key challenges you had faced during your deployments when you went to Iraq and Afghanistan? I know you said you was the driver. So were there any type of requirements to be the sergeant major and the general's driver at the time?
Yeah. So we went down to Brunswick, Georgia, and did some Marshall U.S. Or U.S. Marshal defensive driving courses. So they kind of prepared us for all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That certificates. Man, the challenges for me, man, honestly, was just staying alive, man. Especially being on the road as a Mike. People don't understand it, dude. Like, I get troops on ground, but how do you think those troops got there? Mm-hmm. How do you think those troops get out? How do those supplies get into those troops? So Iraq for us, I mean, the hardest part was it was IEDs, man. IEDs, just trying to avoid those, trying to, pay attention. Like, your stress level is so crazy. Mm-hmm. So just the job in general, I think, being an 88 Mike and actually being on the road in a hostile environment, I think that was probably the stressful, hardest part for me. That and losing soldiers, man. Like, that's something that you just, can't overcome.
Never get used to. Yeah, man. Never get used to.
Can't get over that.
I will say this: in Iraq, I noticed. I saw a lot of videos, but being there and seeing it in person, when they put an IED on you, it's not something small.
Yeah, no.
It's really a big boom, and a lot of people get injured with me.
Yep. So remember, Iraq, man, we were still new to that, and we didn't have the up armored vehicles that we have now, man. So it was, dude, we were crossing the berm with skin vehicles, skin Humvees. Mm-hmm. So that was terrifying, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Man. And then you're out there in some desert camis with a freaking green vest on, sticking out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man.
Come on, bro. So they were ill prepared, and that was definitely a stressor too.
All right, man. So you've did a lot of roles as 88 Mike. You've been a heavy wheel operator, which is like the ground level. You've been a team leader, squad leader, and a platoon sergeant, right? So walk us through the differences between those in your eyes and how you excelled, what kind of leadership that you've had before. Because I know with me, all the leadership I had before, I took the good from the bad, and I know how to implement it on the next time. So how did that kind of shape all your roles in the military?
Yeah. So like you said, man, you have those leaders that you're just like, man, I don't want to be like that guy. Mm-hmm. And you got leaders that are like, man, I'm I'm gonna take something from his book and put it in my little tool bag here, you know. The wheeled operator, man, you guys know that, man. You guys are both 88 mics. That's coming straight out of basic AIT. You know, you're pretty much maybe a PFC. And you're out there on the grind, man. You know, you're picking up troops, dropping off troops. You're picking up tracks, dropping off tracks. Driving 60-foot trailers, driving 915, 916s, you know, things like that, doing cargo lifts. That in that aspect, it's more of the grunt work, and you learn your job. You know, you're sitting there and you're learning from these individuals, from your missions, from your tasks, how to do the next job. And you know, I was always told, man, you think 2 ranks ahead of yourself. You know, so I would look into, hey, what is my team leader doing? How is my team leader being successful? And I would look into that, and I would try to. I wouldn't try to like jump the chain of command, but I would kind of like be in his back pocket. At the same time, I still got to do my grunt work. You know, squad leaders, man. Oh man, McKinstry was my first squad leader. McKinstry was my first squad leader, so I had a good solid mentor. You know, he was there for me when I went to WLC Warrior Leaders Course and stuff like that. He was the one. He was my sponsor. You know, he made sure that, hey, Drew, if you're gonna make it here, bro, you PT. You better be a PT stud. You know, so I looked into that, and I took McKinstry's advice, and then, you know, Mike Bauer came around the corner, and he took over our squad, and his same thing, PT, you know, PT, standards and discipline. I was like, all right, well, if I want to be a squad leader, this is what I need to do. I need to do what these guys are doing, you know. And once I got that opportunity, man, that's what it was. Like anything and everything to make my soldiers better, whatever I had to do to make myself better, you know. There were times, man, I would be at the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning before PT, getting it in, and then go to 6 o'clock formation and get it in with the soldiers again, you know. And that's what I saw that was instilled in squad leaders and platoon sergeants there at the 82nd, man. So once I became a platoon sergeant, it was pretty much over, man. It was PT all day, you know. PT all day, man. I wasn't a platoon sergeant for very long, but you know, I was about my soldiers, about their standard of discipline, about their physical fitness, about their quals on the range, you know, be qualified on certain vehicles that we had, you know, stuff like that, man. Just trying to do good by the Army and just be a good leader and mentor, you know.
Okay. So after that, tell us about your S3 position as a staff member, because going from you know, heavy wheel operator, that's where the rubber meets the road, to doing all that, then you go to S3 as a staff guy. How'd that go?
That hurt, man. That hurt. Yeah. So I ended up in S3 because I broke my femur on a jump, man.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even supposed to be on that jump, bro. I wasn't even supposed to be. I was already qualified and all my stuff, already caught up on all my stuff. And I don't know what happened, but you know, somebody up higher said it's everybody in the company, no matter what. And I went up and I was like, man, I shouldn't be here. I should not be jumping. Jump, ended up breaking my femur, and they took my squad away from me. That broke my heart, man. Like, I honestly didn't know what I was gonna do. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was like, I can't get in and out of this truck. I can't ruck with my soldiers. I can't PT with my soldiers, you know? And came down to it, first sergeant was like, look, man, First Sergeant Harris was like, bro, I need you somewhere else. And at first I thought it was like upstairs in ops. And I was like, man, you put me up there and I got to see these soldiers every single day. It's going to eat me up, you know? So they're like, nah, man, Sergeant Major asked for you at S3. So I went and interviewed with Sergeant Major, told me what he wanted me to do was land an ammo. And he knew I loved guns. He knew I loved, you know, shooting at the range. He's like, I need you to do land and ammo for the battalion. All right, cool. Got up there, got acquainted with everything, and did my right seat ride with the outgoing NCOIC, and I was up there for about 1.5 years, man, before going to Fort Leonard Wood.
Did you learn a lot from that position? Like it different from being online?
Yeah, I did because I had to deal with first sergeants, I had to deal with companies. And, you know, my job was to make sure that all our companies were qualled. And dealing with soldiers, man, taking care of them. It's a rifleman first, no matter what. That's how I always looked at it. And I found out there's a lot of people that don't like to go to the range, man. I had them guys going in the range like almost every 3 months. And even then, I was trying to get them to go like once a month,
Yeah, I couldn't believe that, man. I'm like, we're getting paid to go shoot.
Yeah, right, man.
I love going range.
Well, there was sometimes, man, like the first, and I don't want to put no first sergeant on blast or nothing, but there was sometimes first sergeant was like, Drew, you got to slow us down, bro. You got to slow down. I was like, hey, Top, man, I'm all about this gunfire, this fight, So I learned a little bit. Some people can be a little bit defensive, and you're in that S3 shop. You got to kind of calm down. It's not, hey, you're not gung ho all the time. You got to slow your roll, Drew.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did learn a little bit about that being up in the S shop.
While you was in the S shop, did you have to go to battle staff?
Yeah, so that was actually awesome. Actually,
okay.
I got to go to battle staff with a captain, and that was instead of doing S3 land and ammo when we deployed to Afghanistan again, I had a captain. It was me, a captain, and a spec 4 specialist, and she didn't go. It was just me and the captain, and we got to go to battle staff, and that was that was an eye opener on how the military actually operates.
Mm-hmm.
And that was some good technique, some good training. I honestly think that out of the training that I received in the military, that was probably the best. So I got to utilize that while I was in Afghanistan for that year.
Oh, go ahead, Pierre.
No. I said, yeah, I took battle staff, and I learned so much from that course, man. Just the ebb and flows, operating like you're in combat, how to work and talk, all that type of stuff. So yeah, man, I learned so much. You're right about that, man.
How'd you like being the ab movement officer?
Yeah, that was that was actually when I first got to Bragg, man. I just made E5, and I just got to Bragg and made E5, and they needed air movement officers, man, and I didn't even know what that was, man. I was like, hey, look, this is an NCOA bullet. This is another tab, and I checked the block, and man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. That was a cool. When you got that tasking, that was pretty awesome. You get to go out there and mess with the 4th 63L pallets, make sure the riggers rigged all their stuff right, make sure you're loading the C-130, C-17 right in the right weight and balance category. Being around the aircraft, that was where I was like, man, like this is amazing. Talking to loadmasters in the Air Force. I didn't get to do it very often. I think I pulled like maybe 4 or 5 missions. They were mostly airborne operations. Got to be out there and do heavy loads. So I didn't really do much, but the 4 or 5 times that I was out there, man, it was definitely a blessing, man. It was definitely fun.
Was you able to do any civilian education while you was doing all of these military duties?
No, I did a little bit, man. I didn't do enough. I focused more on my soldiers, man. I took care of my soldiers, man. That was my focus. That was it, man. My soldiers, they were my everything, and I looked at like, I mean, if I try to do these courses, full time, something's going to get neglected. And it's either going to be my school, my family, or my soldiers. So, I did classes here and there, but it wasn't really anything that really pushed me to get a degree.
Okay. And then after that, you transitioned. You said you had medically retired out. And then what was your plans after that?
Become a pilot, man. As soon as I got out, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was actually flying the last 2 years. I was flying, earned my private pilot's license, and I actually tried to apply before I got out. I got back in shape, got back to being a PT stud. Well, you know what? I'm gonna try to do warrant one more time. And I dropped my warrant packet, always fully qualified, non-select, and I was like, you know what? It's just not calling. It's not calling. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride it out. I'm gonna hop on my horse here and I'm gonna ride out into the sunset. And I got out and I was like, you know what? It's time to make the dream come true, man. It's time to become a pilot. So soon as I got out, man, I started researching universities, researching flight schools, using the VA, benefits that I had, talking to VA reps, trying anything and everything to get where I want to be.
And so from that transition out, how was it like dealing?
I survived the VA, put it like that.
Okay.
Swaggy Vet, I survived the VA.
Hey.
Look, man, real talk. The VA is not, I haven't dealt with them in a long time. When I first started, man, they were not veteran friendly, man. They were so adamant trying to push me back into a truck because I had my CDL. Before I left Fort Stewart, I went and got my CDL. So they were all like, "Oh, well, you got your CDL and you got this." I was like, "Nah, man, that's not what I want to do. You're not hearing me out." So it took about a year and a half for me to get everything that I needed to present to the VA that, hey, I am a qualified candidate to use this program, use this money, to invest in myself, to make it a career. And it like I said, it took a year just for that, And it was, man, it got to the point sometimes I was like, this ain't gonna happen. Another roadblock, Here they are. Oh, you can use your benefits. Oh, you can do this or you can do that. But there's always this little, like, I don't know, little hump, like a little roadblock, man, like a cement block in the road that you got to step over, And that's how it was for me, man, because this is not easy, becoming a pilot, man. It is. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Put it like that,
Was there a certain program that you used outside like your GI Bill and stuff like that to get into, or did you strictly use that to do your program?
No, so you got to pay out of pocket for your private pilot's license first, and once you get that, everything is according to the VA, and you can do it without going to a university, which is Part 61. It's a regulation from the FAA, but the airlines at the time, and that's where I kind of wanted to kind of point towards, was the airlines. They required you to have a 4-year degree. That 4-year degree could have been in basket and weaving. They didn't care. But if I'm going to do this, I thought, man, if I'm going to do this, I want to earn something. I want to use it,
Yeah.
And I ran across the VA. They were they finally gave in. They're like, this guy's determined. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So they finally gave in. They gave me a couple universities that they supported, that the VA approved with the VA money. And in South Dakota was a big one. Like, that's the number one. I said, man, I'm not moving to South Dakota, man. Like, I need something close or distance learning. And it just happened to be, man, that same day, like, I was getting down on myself. That same day, my wife is sitting there watching TV, and she's like, hey, Liberty University uses the VA. And I'm like, Liberty University? So I pulled up the list, and I'm looking, and Liberty University is funded by the VA.
Nice.
And yeah, man, I called them the next day, man, called a liaison, sent them all my paperwork, and I was enrolled in class like the next semester, man, and just took off.
Was that, like I was asked, is that a program? Did you have to use your GI Bill for that? Or is it like some
strictly separate? Yeah, strictly VA, man. Strictly VA.
Okay. Yeah, because I know they have a couple, like me and John was talking about before, the vet tech thing. Vet tech's something different. Like, you don't even use your GI Bill. It's just something that was for school.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
those programs I think are more like kind of like add-ons for training,
Okay.
So like my next certificate or my next set of training outside of flying an aircraft is what they call ATP. After you get your 1,500 hours, an ATP is kind of, it sets you apart because you can now fly heavier aircraft, carry more passengers, and the VA they do cover that outside of what you have left on your account with the VA. You pay out of pocket, however, and they'll reimburse you the full amount. So it's pretty much you go do your thing, you go pass, you go get certified, you keep all your receipts, you send it back to us, and we'll just throw it back in your account type deal. So,
okay.
Yeah, definitely the VA, man.
Is it like a progression? So you say you go to bigger aircrafts, like I know they got the single engine, like the Cessnas. Did you have to like progress from there?
Yeah, so most training planes are single engine pistons.
Mm-hmm.
Usually like Warriors, Cessna 172 high wings. You know, small training planes. Usually, I mean, man, they're like 72 models. You know, you do have these schools that do have, you know, newer models, diamonds, diamond aircraft.
Okay.
So, you know, you do start small, and you work your way up after you get your certain amount of hours. You start getting into the turboprops and the jet engines.
Mm. Did you find that, man, I really like this aircraft versus this other one? Did you like grow accustomed to, oh, I really like this aircraft?
Oh yeah. There's been plenty of planes that I fly that I fell in love with, and then there's some planes I'm just like, man, I ain't getting into that one again. You know, I'm not getting in that one again. You know. So.
I remember I used to talk to you when you were taking a test, and it's a lot of your challenges was weather.
Yeah, still is.
Is it? Because you
still is, man.
Because you had finished like the written portion, and then it was really trouble getting a check ride, or not a check ride, but whatever y'all do to test out in the aircraft.
Yeah. So when me and you used to talk, man, I was doing like my next certificate. So whether it was commercial or instrument or whatever, but when you do your check ride as a young pilot, a young student, you kind of want it to be a perfect day. I'm talking about no wind, maybe a little, so you can kind of correct off of that and make that adjustment. But you don't want no cloud cover. You want it to be just a beautiful, you know, maybe 5 knots of wind, you know. And here in Florida, man, all my classes and all my check rides were usually in the summer. And summer in Florida, it's like just rain, clouds.
Yeah.
You know, and even today, man, when I was coming down today, man, we had to dodge storms left and right, come in, deal with the wind and the rain, man, you know? So still a problem.
Florida weather's something else, man.
It is.
So you had to progress through your journey getting your pilot's license. Now, you said before you went into the actual schooling, you had to get your license, right?
Right. Yeah,
okay.
You gotta get your PPL, your private pilot's license first.
Was that real hard? What kind of stuff you gotta do for that?
No. It was cost effective. You know, you're looking about $7,000, $8,000 for that. You know, when I was going through it. Yeah, so I don't know what it is now. It's probably $10,000, $11,000 now plus. So I think the hardest part was having to pay out of pocket, having a young family. You know, most of it is just material, man. It's all it is. You know, material is just You remember those soldier handbooks we had, and we had the soldiers carry them in their pockets all the time. Man, that's pretty much what it was, man. You pull it out, you look at it, you read it, you understand it, you memorize it, and then you move on. You know, and that's pretty much how a private pilot is. You know, you're brand new. Everybody knows you're brand new. You're not going to know everything. You need to know the basics of aerodynamics and aviation, man. You know, and that's where the private pilot gets you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then after you get to a certain point, like you do your check rides and stuff, it's all about getting your hours after that, huh?
Right. Yep. So as soon as you get your commercial ticket, man, after that, it's just about either you can be an instructor and build your hours that way and go, or you can find another route, which I found another route, which is aerial survey through a good buddy of mine, Cody Anderson, that I met actually on Facebook, man. I met him on Facebook, and we had the same interest, and he started a company up there in Maine, and he hit me up. You know, he was like, "Hey, look, dude, I need a pilot. You build your hours this way, and it's gonna suck. You're gonna be on the grind. You know, you're gonna be away from your family for a couple months to a year, but this is gonna help you get where you need to get." So I took that route of flying aerial survey, and man, it helped me build my hours so fast. About 8 months I was doing that, got to where I could get the hours that I needed to get hired, for a charter company here in Jacksonville.
Nice. That's awesome, man. So you just kind of had to do something, bite the bullet, and then it set you up for a better opportunity.
Right. Yeah. My family, my wife wasn't too happy about it, and I told her, I was like, look, if I can do multiple tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, 12 months, 8 months, it won't be nothing. And I'm in the States. I'm not, dodging IEDs. I'm not getting shot at. People aren't trying to kill me. I'll do this, knock it out, FaceTime you guys, come visit you guys on my time off as much as I can. And, we're just going to have to bite the bullet on this one and sacrifice just so I can get to where I want to get. And it came down to an agreement, and she wasn't happy about it. But, Daddy had to pack his bags and get home.
But yeah, ultimately set up for a better position. And now, hey, look at you now. You're doing big things, man.
Yeah, man.
So full time you was flying the friendly skies, but during the daytime you was teaching kids how to do ground balls.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, man. That was a heartbreaker, man. So during the whole COVID thing, pilots pretty much stopped, man. You weren't flying nowhere. It's all about who you knew. And it just, I wasn't going anywhere. So, I went and volunteered at the high school, man, down the street. And I took on, and they were like, man, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He really knows baseball, and that's my sport. And next thing I know, the AD is asking me if I want a job. So, I took it, and I coached young men, the game of baseball, the game that I love. And at the same time, I taught them standards and discipline, man. And they hated me because all we did was run. All we did is I'm gonna tell you, man, the first few weeks of practice, we didn't touch a baseball.
Build that foundation.
Yep, we didn't touch a baseball, man. And I actually got to see, so the guys that I actually brought up, young cats, they actually won district here in Orange Park the first time in 30 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
The senior year. Yep. The guys that I coached their freshman year, they graduated seniors this year, and they won district, and they went to the first round of the playoffs, which hasn't been done in almost 30 years here. So those guys, I went and supported them as much as I could, and they still look at me and they're like, Coach Drew, what's up, man? And I was like, hey, I'm just here for y'all, man. I'm just, so got to do that for about a year and a half, and then I got an opportunity flying, so I had to take that.
So they're working with the kids, bring out a lot of your military ways.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Oh,
hey, he said he was helping the kids, but the kids was really helping him. He was like Major Payne out there.
Yeah, man. You gotta get him right, man.
So how was it like? Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, man.
No, so how was it like working with the Northwood Air?
Oh, so Northwood Air, that's a survey company, man. That was great. That's the buddy that I talked about in Maine. He actually flies for American Airlines now, man. And good dude. I got that calling actually after I took the job with the junior high baseball team. So I got that job, and then he calls me. He's like, hey, look, man, I need a pilot. And I was like, man, I've already committed to these boys. I can't do it. And that was like nerve-wracking because I was like, man, I just shut the door. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that door open again, but I was focused on the boys, man. I was committed to them. I told them I was here for them, and I wasn't going to leave them, and then not even, oh my God, the next year, Cody calls me up again. He's like, look, you're coming. You're flying for me. You're working. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing, man. I'm tired of seeing you not flying. I know that you love this job. I know that you love this occupation. He's like, you're on a flight in 2 days. And I was like, he's like, I already bought your ticket. It's in your email. And I'm not in line, man. I looked at my phone and there it was. And I was like, I guess I got a job, So yeah, it was great.
You know what's crazy, man? I've never flown a plane, right? I'd have jumped out of a few, but I've never flown it, right? So I would assume for me, the scariest thing would be trying to land You know, with it leveled up, and then because that'd be the hardest landing on the plane for me. Even when it land hard, that pilot always come out and say, "Thank you for coming on the flight." Like it was the softest landing. They always do the same routine, so I know it got to be difficult. Times.
No, honestly, man. Honestly, landing is not that hard.
All right.
If you set the plane up and configure the plane properly, and you have a stable, what we call an approach to the airfield, your power settings are right, your trim is set, everything. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, as long as you sit there and just pull back the yoke a little bit, there's been times, man, I've landed and I'm like, are we on the ground? You know? And there's sometimes my captains have landed. Yeah, there's been sometimes my captains, they land and I'm like, bro, I got to wipe the butter off the wheels, So landing is not, it is very challenging. The airliners, they can take it a little bit better because they have bigger shocks, more tires. They're a lot heavier than what I fly. They're usually coming in a lot faster because there's another plane right behind them, So a lot of that plays in the factor. But yeah, man, it's not the hardest. I think the hardest part of flying, honestly, is ensuring that you have everything in order to be successful, to complete the landing. Whether it's your instruments, whether it's your heading, your power speed, your settings, your configurations, because guys get sidetracked up there, man. There's been many incidents that guys land with their landing gears up. Guys run off the runway because they're going too fast.
What?
Or they don't. Oh yeah, man. Or they don't have the right configuration for landing. So it's a very some individuals and people that don't fly, they don't understand it's very stressful. There's times where you got to go, I got to be focused here, and then there's times where you can just come back and just kind of relax, and then there's times you got to focus. And I think that's, to me, the hardest part is when do I focus? When do I release? When do I, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, being in the Army, man, you're always you got eyes in the back of your head. You're always watching stuff. You're always looking stuff. You're checking this. You're checking that. You're making sure this is that. And so I'm kind of used to it, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to overdo it in the plane because you will make that mistake.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Being in the military, we do the the PCCs, PCIs, and all that. Being used to that, did that help you be successful doing your career you're at now?
Yeah. So having those standards and kind of like a checklist definitely did. The transition definitely helps. It's a lot easier.
Okay.
We do have checklists. We do have call outs. We do have certain limitations that we have to remember, certain numbers that we have to meet. Things like that. The transition is so much. It was so much easier for me. But now it's like it's constantly remembering that stuff because it's like in the military, you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's the same thing in the aviation community. You just have to stay tuned, and you're constantly learning. But yeah, I think Jay, man, once you get in the plane, man, and you figure out how to pull back, and once you get into what we call ground effect, the plane pretty much lands itself. Honestly, I think you'd be all right.
I'm just waiting on them to develop that technology where they transport you down like the Starship Enterprise.
Beam me up, Scotty.
That would be.
Hey, no,
we wouldn't need pilots anymore, though.
We just wouldn't need y'all to land the plane.
Now, quick question: those people that didn't put the landing gear down, were they still employed after they landed?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. There's been some times so being in the aviation world, I read a lot of NDSB reports, National Transportation Safety Bureau, and it's you'd be surprised at some of the stuff that you read, man. Like it's pilot error. You know that guy didn't run his checklist. That guy wasn't paying attention. There are some incidents that it's mechanical, but it's very, very, very seldom do you hear that. Probably like, I don't know, maybe, and I'm just shooting a number here, but probably like 10% of the incidents, are mechanical. 90% of it's pilot error, you know?
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
So what is the food like for a commercial pilot?
So I know. So I got a lot of commercial buddies that fly. They get whatever is on the plane. So whatever you eat, they're eating unless they bring their own.
You bring your own?
I do, man. I do bring my own. Yeah, I do. We get I fly private charter, man. So we're flying, the wealthy people. And we get a lot of VIP catering and stuff like that. So
nice.
Oh yeah, sometimes they take care of the pilots too, man. Sometimes, I'll get me a good little gourmet sandwich or something like that.
That's surf and turf.
That's right.
Yeah, little something every now and then. There are some customers out there that they do buy meals for the pilots.
That's awesome.
If you find a plane that they selling for cheap, keep an eye out for us.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna do a Swaggy Vet rap on it.
Yep.
Hey, a pilot, man.
That's right. So I take it these are your hobbies as well, or you got some other hobbies outside of flying?
Yeah. So man, it's it's kind of crazy. I build guns, man. That's
crazy.
Really helped me. Yeah, man. That's really, really, really helped me with my mental. Shooting guns. Of course, flying planes, and then I recently got into, it's gonna sound weird, but I recently got into collecting Hot Wheels, man. My 20-year-old, me and him really didn't have a good relationship because I was always gone, but he's into that collecting the Hot Wheels, and I was like, man, this is a way that I could connect with him, So we go Hot Wheel hunting. Every Friday is usually when the stores stock them up. Go ahead and black that out for me so nobody else be shopping on Fridays, man. Go ahead and edit that out. No. So we do that on Fridays, man. And if I'm home, and then my toddler, my little boy, man, oh God, that dude, he's all about cars, man. Cars, racing simulator, flight simulator that we have. And he picked up on it, and this, it's just something I can do with my boys, man. Outside the house.
Mm-hmm.
And, as a boy, you're always dreaming about cars that you want, or cars that man, I'd like to have that Porsche GT3, I'm sorry, man, but I'm normal, folks. I can't afford a six-figure car, so I'll get you a little model. Look at this, and dream about it, and maybe your dream will come true.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what you got to do to get to that car. And that's how the Hot Wheels got involved.
Hey, they got a good teacher, man. Because every time I went over to your house, you're always doing some project car. Doing something in the cars, man.
Working on cars, man. I got 2 BMWs I'm actually working on right now, man. So,
what are you doing to them?
So I got one. It's a manual, which manuals are dying. Everybody knows
they
that.
are.
Yeah. So I picked up this manual, and it's going to be my clone or my donor for the actual good automatic. So I got a good automatic back there, and I'm actually going to be swapping them over. And turning into a manual, because the manual actually has a bad frame. And
okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna be swapping that over. Me and my son, we're actually in the process of trying to figure out where we're gonna do this, because the garage is kind of full right now.
So he's actually learning too.
Yeah, man, he's all about cars, man. He really is. So that's a good thing that he kind of grew into, and has helped me as a father, man. Honestly, just build a relationship with somebody that, man, I was in and out of his life, bro, being deployed all the time,
Mm-hmm.
So it's bringing a bond together, which I absolutely adore. I don't force it on him. I just, hey, man, what you want to do, where you want to go, how you want to do this, and so that's definitely helped out a lot.
Yeah, I'm going through that right now. My daughter, when she was born, I was in and out of deployments, and then I got stationed in Europe, so I lost a lot of time. And now we're gym buddies. We go to the gym together, so that's kind of like our thing. So it's definitely good to reconnect and have that type of bond with your child, and able to circle back and have that relationship again, man. That's good.
Yeah, man. Gym is definitely a good thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my boy, he stays in the gym. I'm in the gym. If I'm home on standby, I'm in the gym every morning, man. Got to stay fit, got to stay strong. And my toddler, you know, they got a kids center. He goes in there and pretends like he's working out too. So I'm, you know, trying to build it, trying to start it young, you know. And then my daughter, she's playing volleyball. I thought I was going to be a softball dad, but it ended up being volleyball, and I'm okay with that because I get to play volleyball with her Tuesdays and Thursdays, man.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So my old butt gets out there and tries to, you know, jump like I'm 18 again, and it ain't working out very well.
Oh, I know that.
You know?
Shoot.
So, you know, and then, you know, just beach time, man. Just spending time with the family, trying to go to the beach or the pools. You know, it's hot here in Florida, man.
Oh, man, absolutely.
Yeah, we do the parks, you know, Universal and things like that.
So looking back at everything you've done, I mean, you've done so much things in your life. You're still extremely young. Look very good. Is there anything that you like you're most proud of? Like you have a sense of, man, I'm proud of this. I know it's a big question because you've done a lot of stuff. And you don't have to name one single thing. You know, there could be maybe a couple things that you're like, I really, you know, proud of this.
Man, I'm honestly just, I mean, I'm going to start with one. You know, I'm proud that I decided to serve my nation, man. Serve my country. I got to meet great individuals like yourself, like Jay, McKinstry, man, Avy, these guys that you have on your show, man, you know, doing great things, doing good things. You know, I get to be a part of that brotherhood that's, you know, that people just don't understand. You know, I could pick pen, I can call you any time of the day and you'll answer the phone.
Absolutely.
You know, Jay, I can hit you up any day, Jay, and you answer back, you know. And that's things that people don't see, you know. Everybody thinks that, oh, I graduated in class of 2003 at Southwest High School. We're going to be a tight group like we were growing up. And if that's not the case, I don't even talk to anybody from high school, bro. Like, I talk to more veteran buddies, more guys that I was boots on ground with than I do anybody that I grew up with, if that makes sense. You know? So I'm just proud that I got to experience that. And be a part of history, you know, American history at that. So that's one thing. And then I'm very proud of my accomplishments, man. And I'm not even done yet. I'm just kind of skimming the water. I'm glad that I was mentally strong enough because of individuals like yourself, individuals like McKinstry, you know, Mike Bauer, Michael Perry, those guys, the guys that I met in the 82nd, instilled that discipline to, you see it, you finish it. You know, if you want it, you got to go get it. You know, things like that. And Jay, man, you don't know this, man, but you were a huge mentor to me, man. And I saw you do what you wanted to do. You were like, man, I want to be a Ranger. Next thing I know, you're Ranger tab. I'm like, man, you know. If he says he can do it, I can do it too. You know, things like that. And I remember, you know, David Crosby, man, he was a big mentor to me too. You know, he pushed me. He was like, hey, dude, you want to be a Ranger? This is what you gotta do. And I remember getting up with this guy at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Bro, we were working out, swimming, running, rucking, you know, pin, man. You always wanted to strive to be bigger and better. And I remember on a road march, bro, me and you, it was nighttime. We had a 45-pound rucksack. And I was just like, I can't do this. I was done, man. The whole day, we worked all day. And then we had to ruck that same night, you know. And I just remember Pam was like, man, you can't quit. Let's go. Jog it up. I'm like, we going to jog now? We going to jog. We're like, yo, yeah, bro. Hey, we jogging. You know, so individuals like yourselves, man, and you guys instilled that in me, and I'm just proud of myself that I could take all that I experienced from all these mentors and put it towards the degree that I got through Liberty University, man. Get it through my certificates for aviation and become a pilot, whether it's commercial or private charter. You know, you're still working, you're still following your dream. Man, I don't get up in the morning no more and I'm like, man, I got to go to work. You know, I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh, man, I get to fly today. Like, let's get it. You know, let's get it. Let's go. And, you know, the view is different from the back than it is from the front in the cockpit. And that view, man, it's priceless, man. It's God's green earth, and you get to witness what he is doing that day and what he's going to put you through. And you get to play around in it, man, you know, and it's fun. It really is.
So that's a very inspiring story, man. Like, I appreciate the kind words, man. What advice would you give veterans a new career? Because you're doing something totally opposite you was doing in the military. You was on the ground. Now you in the air, baby.
Yeah.
Other than jumping at airplanes, now you're flying them.
Yeah, well, I always talk to my customers and then they find out that I was airborne and used to jump out of planes. I was like, you know who's going out the door first, you know? So you can follow me or you can go down with the plane. It don't matter to me, baby. So look, man, something that the military doesn't teach you, man, is you gotta have faith in yourself. They teach you to have faith in everybody around you and to put your trust in everything and in the community around you, your battle buddies. Trust the man to your left or your right. They don't tell you to trust yourself. They tell you to trust your battle buddy. But your battle buddies ain't there no more, man. They're there in spirit. They're there on a phone call. They're there in a text message. But they're not literally leaning. You're not leaning on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So you got to build. I found out that if you build yourself and you inspire yourself and you use that, I like to say false motivation. You use that false motivation and you put it into yourself, man. And you got to look at what you want to do. You know, if you want to go out there and be a music producer, figure out what the steps are that you need to do, meet the people that you need to meet, use that military background, standards, and discipline, and use it to your advantage, okay? And the military doesn't teach you that. And that's one thing that I understood and I saw once I got out. I was like, where do I go? What do I do? I don't have anybody telling me that I have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't have anybody telling me that I got formation at 1300, you know? So you got to take all that and put it into yourself and discipline yourself. If you got class at 9 o'clock, you better be there at 8:45. You know, if you got to do this, you got to do that. And even if you're daddy duties, man, my kids got to be at school at this time. Make sure they're 15 minutes prior. You know, hey, my kid's got an appointment 15 minutes prior. And that's what the military push you to do, but there was somebody telling you to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you gotta build yourself, man. Make yourself strong. Use the gym. Man, I can't explain to you and express to you how much the gym has made me feel so much better about my mental and my body. And then it forces me to like continue to be strong in my studying because, man, I'm trying to tell you right now. Matter of fact, before you even called me, I was sitting here looking at my speed limitations, bro. Flashcards, you know, and it puts you to sleep, you know. It does. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like it puts you to sleep. You be sitting there like, and you're like, start seeing double visions, and you're like, hey man, wake up. Hey, wait, hey battle, wake up. You know, hey, we gotta get this done. You know, and that might sound strange to some people, but that's what I do. You know, that's how I look at myself, and that's how I prepare myself.
Man, that's awesome, bro.
And hey, man, I don't want forces on nobody, but believe in God. You feel me? Like He's there for us. He really is.
Oh,
He's answered my prayers.
Yeah.
You know, He's answered my prayers. So,
I'm with you, brother. So
yeah.
So you had so much to do, man. So what are your future goals that you got going on now? Just keep it consistent.
Man. So all right. Right now, man, I work for a private charter out of Jacksonville, and I'm still in the learning process because it is a lot. Hands-on OJT, it's a lot. Okay, and I like to say it. I'm at the specialist phase right now, man. I'm at the kind of chill mode, you know, kind of sitting back. Yeah, kind of sitting back. Got my little Spec 4 shield and just kind of taking in the information and learning. Flying the airplane a lot more with some senior captains that flown in the airlines, and just understanding the concept of true being a professional aviator. You just don't get up there and just push the throttles forward and pull back on the yoke and go flying. You got passengers back there, man. You got high dollar paying customers. Everything needs to be smooth. The transition needs to be smooth. The throttle movements. So I'm still in that transition now. I don't know if I'm honestly comfortable right now upgrading, but I'm getting there. And next would probably be to upgrade to captain and actually, pilot my own aircraft with the crew. So I'm studying for that, working up to that, building that confidence, because pilots, man, we're type A individuals. We're all about the alpha, So you want to make sure that you know your stuff. You don't want to be, oh, I'm a pilot, and then get hired and then read about it, the next day and try to go do the job. You want to be on top of your stuff, man. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I want to do the airline thing yet. Commuting, and then I have to shave my beard. I don't know about that, So, and then commuting, man, being away from your family. I don't know if I want to do that. Most I'm away from my family now is probably like 2 or 3 days, So right now it's still in learning process, still in kind of, tasting the waters type explanation, seeing which one I'm going to take, which road I'm going to take. But right now, man, I'm happy where I'm at, honestly. I got a 30-minute drive to the airport. I'm out and back. Like this morning, I had to pop up at 9 o'clock this morning, and I got home about 5, man, and I'm here with my family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is it true? So I heard a joke. It says, "How do you know if somebody's a pilot?" Is it? They'll tell you they're a pilot. Is that
they'll
true?
Tell you a pilot. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, that's true, man. That is true. Yeah. It's kind of like you're a true paratrooper when you got your beret daggone over. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know he's a real jumper type thing. So yeah, pilots, man, they do. We do float around, look, what are you doing? Why are you here? Oh, we're pilots, we just flew in for the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is true.
Okay, good.
All right, so you're back now. I mean, you don't have the deployment like you said. You got your second career going. So how do you see yourself building more memories with your family?
Man, just having the time to be home, man. Like tonight, man. I came in about 5:30. As soon as I walk in the door, my toddler's like, "Daddy!" Pick him up and hold him. I walk in the living room. My daughter's sitting there, and I'm like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" And she's like, "I'm good, just chilling, hanging out, watch TV." And sat there and asked her, just had a face-to-face conversation. Not over FaceTime, not over MWR computer. My son actually he just left for work. He works night shift at Lowe's, and he shot me the deuces, and I was like, all right, man, I'll catch you later. But just being here and being home, get to kiss my wife. Hey, man, she had to go to work tonight. She works night shift at the hospital in the ICU. I got to kiss her goodnight and say, hey, have a good night. See you in the morning. Things like that, man. It's just those little things like that, man. That really puts the icing on the cake. Making this happen.
Yeah, that's good, brother.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Where if somebody wants to had any questions for you, where can they reach you, Drew?
Yeah, man. So I mean, hit me up. I mean, I'll give you my email address, or you can look me up on Facebook. You know, Loren Andrews Jr. Instagram. My email is, can I put my email out on here if they want to message me or anything?
Yeah.
I'll
put it in the description for the
Yeah,
video.
okay.
So
Yeah,
everybody, if you want to reach Drew, his social media and email being in the description.
Yeah,
So,
bet. Yeah, man. Just reach out, man. I've run into individuals at FBOs, man, and they're like, "How did you get there? What did you do?" And I'm like, "Hey, look, here's my LinkedIn, here's my Instagram, here's my Facebook, whatever. Hit me up and I'll talk. We'll talk."
mm-hmm.
Because it was hard for me, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some people it's just given. It was just given. You're gonna be a pilot. And that's what they did. There's guys out there, man. They're 20, 23 years old, and they're flying in the airlines, bro. And I'm 39. And I'm just now getting my career started. So there's guys out there that their parents set them up right, and I didn't have that. I had to go the long way, which is fine because you appreciate it more. I feel earning it.
Yeah, you earned everything you got. You earned everything you got,
grind, man. So yeah, man. Social media, man, is the biggest way. Honestly, just shoot me a message.
Okay, link will be in the description. You got anything else you want to say in closing, Drew?
Nah, man. I just gotta say thanks for having me on the show, man. It's a blessing and an honor. I think that you guys are doing a wonderful job reaching out to veterans, especially veterans that have been successful. Because there's some people out there, man. They look at it and they're like, I don't know what to do after the military,
Yeah.
And then if they subscribe to your videos, man, they can see all these individuals that of all certain ranks, of all certain backgrounds, are continuing to make a big impact. Not only just because they serve their country, but they're also serving their community, man. So I think that you guys are onto something. I really appreciate it, man. And I prayed you guys so many times before. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. And I hope you guys reach a lot of veterans. I hope that the VA and everybody else around you takes this seriously and praises you guys also, man. Because it's hard out there today, man. It really is.
100%, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. You got anything else for him? For Swaggy V?
Man, LA, Loren Andrews, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I'm thankful for your service, brother. I'm honored to have served with you. I learned a lot from you too. And brother, keep pushing because you lead with your heart first, man. And so keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm proud of you, man. Very inspiring. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for the kind words, man. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.